Your instructor is struggling to teach virtual classes and you don't know how to keep them motivated, but they have to, because if they don't, you're not gonna have a martial arts school anymore. Make sure you stay tuned for this video. I'm gonna show you what to do to motivate your team. Okay, so you might be thinking, man, virtual classes, they suck right now. I hate doing them. Or you might be going, virtual classes are not that bad. We're doing great at them. In fact, one of the things that I think has changed the most for the martial arts industry is that so much of the martial arts world, people that maybe in a state where regulations have stopped from students coming in the building have had to start this whole practice of virtual martial arts classes. And number one, the reason why your team isn't motivated, maybe it's you, maybe I'm talking to you, or maybe your owner has said, hey, you need to listen to Jennifer. So hi, by the way, I'm Jennifer Waters. Just to give you some context behind me, you're actually here inside my school. I have run a school with my family for many, many years, but one of the things that we did is about 15 years ago, we started changing and started implementing some new marketing strategies and business strategies combined with old school tactics, and we call it the hybrid martial arts method. It's not a style, it's a method, a mentality. And we grew the school, and so now we're at 7 figures plus a year, and it's just from teaching martial arts. We don't do after school or anything like that. It's straight from teaching martial arts classes. So there's your context. Anyway, going back to my point, if you're having an issue with teaching virtual classes, number one, you got to think about why. Why is it that I don't like virtual classes? And I'm going to tell you what I've heard from talking with instructors literally all over the world. We're talking the UK, Australia, all across the continental United States, Canada, and many other areas where there's been lockdowns. And I'll tell you what they were telling me was their number one reason, because maybe it's the same thing, and then I'll tell you what I told them. Okay, so the biggest thing that they would tell me is they would tell me, like, I hate teaching virtual because it's not the same. That would be the thing that they would constantly tell me. I hate teaching virtual because it's not the same. Was that you?
But for some reason or another, you've been holding up.
And you're right, it's not the same. Because when I'm teaching regular class, I don't have a dummy that I need in the class. Like, I can just grab a random student or a student that I really want to, put it in a little bit because they smarted off in the last class. I'm just kidding, by the way. Maybe. And crap, when I'm teaching class, I can look at my class. I don't have to look at a screen and then realize that where I'm looking at is not actually what they're seeing, and people are not all talking at the same time. There's no background noise. I own that floor. Okay, but let's just face it. Part of this is that you right now are still stuck in the thought process that I just want things to be back the way that they were before. And honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a stage of grief. That's a stage of denial. Things are not going to be the way that they were before. And maybe right now what you need to realize is that this obstacle that is in front of you might actually be an opportunity in front of you as well. And I know you've heard this all before. So you really have to start thinking, why are you doing this? Are you doing this to serve people? Are you doing this for the greater good overall? Like, hey, we're going to do this right now. It's not always going to be this way, but this is what we're going to do so that I still have a school to come back to when all of this finally settles down. And no, you can't wait till it settles down because we can't predict the future. Who would have ever thought that we would be almost a year into a pandemic and still have all the regulations and all the things that we have going on? But here's what you can do. Number one, change your mindset. Number two, you've got to be as interactive as you want your students to be on that screen. And don't give me the whole thing, well, they can't train self-defense, they can't train jiu-jitsu, they can't do it the same way. Look, there are people, leaders in our industry that are making it work. Maybe they can't do it, all the moves the same on a dummy that they would do on a human, on a regular person, but can they learn the techniques and drills that will lead them to the point where they can take a test later? Most likely. Maybe they don't have, mitt work going on at home. Can you encourage your students and have them buy and purchase a heavy bag or purchase a freestanding bag so that they can actually get the work in? Yes, you can. Can you require mats to go down on the floor? Yes, They're pretty easy to come by. Not the super expensive kinds, just the kinds that you put down, inside your garage or inside your home or something like that. There are all kinds of ways that you can make that training and learning environment more conducive for your students, which is going to help them be a better virtual student. And then finally, I just want to encourage you. I know that this isn't the ideal thing, but here's the difference that I've seen. So we have some very young junior instructors. I'm talking like 14, 15, 16 years old. And then we have, maybe not quite as old, I would say like 20s, 25, 30s, right? And what I'm seeing is that the people that are in this age group, the 30s and below, it's not a big deal teaching virtual. What is a big deal is a lot of the people who are older, who are in that 40s, 50s, 60s, if they don't have a mindset of openness, they're not willing to do the virtual classes and give it their best shot. And maybe that's you. And all I'm asking you to do is teach with the same enthusiasm, demand the same respect, do the same things that you would do for an in-person class but on virtual, and grow. You're not the same instructor you used to be on the mat, hopefully. Hopefully you're better. So do that with virtual too. Grow. That's my challenge to you. Hey, if you're enjoying these videos and they've been helpful, please drop a comment below. I'm always seeking feedback on how these videos are being approached. If you showed it to your team, that's awesome as well. Get them to comment. You can even tag them in this video. Listen, if this was great and you want some more information about how to grow your martial arts school with the hybrid martial arts method that I was talking about, just go to learnwithjennifer.com and I will show you what the hybrid martial arts method is all about. You can also join our free group, the Martial Arts Business Growth Network, and you can get tons of information, tons of free useful tips that's going to help you grow your school as well. Until next time, see ya.